singles, do you ask your partners for nudes?
Hey, guys, we're about to go live.
No, you shouldn't.
I don't like that face on your. I don't like that look on your face. Why do you seem?
No, it's strong.
Is that a no or a maybe?
It's like a no.
Mufuna, and the reason why I'm asking the question is because you, Mufuna, you mentioned that. So I was like, if you mentioned it, then let's get onto it. Let's hop on it. If you did before in the past and you stopped or you repented or whatever, let us know.
No, I never asked for nudes. I never got to that stage. I think the type of girls I've dated would have seen that as a turnoff. And so never did. And I did not do that based on them. I just didn't ask for nudes.
Okay, guys, so we are live on Facebook. I am just trying to link us up to YouTube. You guys could still, okay, it's not going to link me up to YouTube. So we are live. So good day, Conversations with Nikki people, and welcome to today's conversation on millennial Christian singles. I know most of you are asking, what the hell is a millennial Christian single? But before I even go into detail, I'm going to go around the table and we're going to introduce ourselves. Others are going to join in, and do bear with us because some people have been facing network issues and some people are coming from load shedding, so they are linking up with data. But I'll start off with Sia Nkosi. So Sia, do tell us your name, your age, and if you're single, and if you're Christian.
Okay, so my name is Sia. I'm 26. I am Christian, very, very close relationship with God. And I am in a relationship.
Okay, and how long have you been in a relationship for?
It's been about a year now.
A year now. Nice, nice. Okay. And then we're going to go to another single. Well, guys, let me define single. So the reason why I call them single, if you go to the Department of Home Affairs and you fill in a document, there is single, married, divorced, separated. There is no situationship, relationship. So let us continue. So I'm going to introduce Monica. Do tell us who you are.
Hi guys, my name is Ompa Monica Kangare. I'm Venda, I'm Christian, I'm 19 and I am single. Yeah, I'm single. Okay, but no. Wait. No, you need to go at it again. I was trying to think of Nikki's definition of single again.
No. So if you are in a relationship, you can tell us. If you're in a relationship.
I'm in a relationship.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's an entanglement. It's an entanglement.
Whoever thought was in a relationship with you was wrong. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, so
that's you. Nice to meet you, Monica.
Nice to meet you.
So, Sia, you are from Joburg, okay? You're in Joburg, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and Monica Joburg. Mufuna, do tell us more about you.
Hey everyone, my name is Mufuna. I'm from Grace Mission Church. I am as single as they come. Got out of a relationship, the beginning of this year. Why are you guys laughing? It's like written on the single.
Single as they come.
I am the ambassador of true singlehood. It's not just about my marital status, guys. I'm just single. So yeah, I'm from Grace Mission Church. I'm a young professional, and yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell. I'm from Joburg as well.
You're from Joburg. All right, nice to meet you, Mfuna. Okay, Paul D, do tell us who you are.
Hi guys, I'm Paul D Motor. I'm 27 years old. I'm in Mayors Park, Pretoria. I am single, as in notes. I'm not even chatting to a guy. I don't even have a slight vision of who might be my husband. Nothing. Like nothing. So yeah. That's me. Oh, I'm in Potter's House Christian Fellowship Church. I am a Christian Sunday school teacher. Yeah.
And you're from Pretoria. Hey, you're representing Pretoria. Yes, honey.
I'm representing Pretoria.
Okay, and then I'm gonna go to Tendo. Yeah, honey, we can finally see you. Thank the good Lord. Tendo, do introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Tendo. I'm a vendor girl living in Pretoria. I am, what did you ask for age? I'm 28. I had forgotten.
Wow.
In my mind, I'm still 25
Tendo,
or something. I don't know. I'm 28 and I'm single. I'm single.
you're single. You're not in a situationship. You're not in an entanglement. You are single.
According to me, I'm single. I'm not entangled to nobody.
No worries. Okay, Tendo, we'll need to sort out your network there so we can hear you so you're not breaking up. But while we're doing that, Precious, introduce yourself, honey.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry I'm late. Load shedding. But anyway, my name is Precious. I'm 27. According to Home Affairs, I'm single, but according to my partner, we're in a relationship. So that's me.
Okay, Precious. And are you Christian?
Did you ask any other question?
Yes, I asked if you're Christian.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely, honey.
Hallelujah. So, guys, we're going to also have Neville Dewey join us and Chantal. They're just trying to log on. So once they log on, they'll catch us in the conversation. So my question to you singles is, those that are in a relationship, my question to you is, how long have you been in a relationship for? Those that are single, my question is, do you think you would actually then get into a relationship? And if so, how would you get into a relationship? So let's start off with those in a relationship. Sia, Chalice, and Monica, and Precious. So do answer the question. So are you intending to marry the person you're currently dating? Are you dating or are you courting? Let's start there. Yes.
Okay,
are you dating?
Let's first start with what the difference is.
Yeah.
Okay. So no. Before I even define the difference, your guys' relationship, are you calling it dating or are you calling it courting?
Ricky.
You don't know, now you know.
What do you call it?
Go first. Sia can go
Sia,
first.
are you jollaring, niakota, nienzani?
I'm calling it dating.
You're dating.
Yep. Do I intend to marry? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. The future is. I don't know what the future. I don't know. We'll see. One day at a time. That's what I say. One day at a time.
Okay, so right now you're just dating. Are you dating because you want to date, because you like the person and you wanted to continue it, or like?
Yeah.
I understand you say one day at a time, but for you to have met the person that you've met, was it because you actually loved her?
Yeah, no, I definitely like her. So yeah.
You definitely like her. Okay, Monica, tell us your situationship, honey.
Okay, I'm gonna refer to my relationship as dating, right? I think you asked how long, right? How long I've been in a relationship. Okay, I've been in this relationship for like 5 years. And what else? What was the other question? Yes, 5 years. And I do intend on marrying the person. Yeah.
Okay, 5 years, Monica.
Yeah, it's been quite some time.
So since you're 14,
So since you are 14,
it's been a long. It's cause yeah, guys, it's 5 years. Yes.
I actually have like one question.
Yeah.
You can ask your question, Precious.
So, like, in 5 years, is it like a straight on 5 years, or is there like a season 1, season 2?
It's a straight on 5 years. Although, like in between, there's just been those. No, we're taking a break, but it's been 5 years. Like for 5 years, it's been this one person.
then it's seasons, Moose.
Excuse
If
me.
you took a break, it's seasons, Moose. If you ever took a break.
But I guess straight on 5 years. It's not like No, but it's not like I was with this person for like a short time and then I went to another person, then I came back, and then it's just like within the 5 years, I was with this person, although we took like sometimes it was just 10, you know, but it's been with this person for like a full 5 years, like straight, without like any coming in and going out with other people. So yeah.
Okay. We're
That's
definitely gonna come
loyal. This
back to
girl
you.
is
That's
loyal.
loyalty on another level.
Loyalty.
While Chantal and Neville are connected, are you guys in? Okay, guys, meet Chantal and Neville. Hi, Chantal. Hi, Neville.
Hi, what's up?
Okay, so you guys need to introduce yourselves. You need to tell us your name, if you're in a relationship, how long you've been in the relationship, and there's feedback, yeah.
All right.
Let's try to turn off the audio.
The audio needs to be sorted out.
Hello, Chantal. Okay. Can you hear us now? Chantal?
Yeah.
Okay, the audio is gone. I think it's because you double joined. You joined with 2 accounts. So probably that was the issue. Okay, Chantal. Okay, while Chantal and Neville are sorting out their situation, Precious, yes. So tell us about your relationship.
So I've been in a relationship for 4 years. But there was definitely a season 1 and a season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the reason why there was a season 2 is because guys, relationship dollar. Yeah, so that ended and then we rejoined the season and continued.
I'm sorry, like it sounds like subscribe, unsubscribe type of a situation.
Sometimes it feels like that, but yeah, there was a season 1 and a season 2. Do I intend on getting married to this person? Yes, but only God has the final answer. but my answer remains yes, because I know they're gonna watch this. So.
Oh wow, Precious.
Okay, guys, I'm kidding. No, but the answer remains yes. I do. Okay, I do intend on getting married to this person.
Okay, all right. Chantal and Neville, do we have you now?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes, we can. So Neville, can you introduce yourself? Tell us your name, how long you've been in a relationship, if you're dating, and what is the other question? Are you a Christian?
Okay, my name is Neville Dube. I've been in a relationship for 4 months. Yeah, 4 months on the 15th actually. I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. I got born again in primary school in grade 3 at the time, and yeah, that's just about it, I think.
Great. Chantal, before I get to you, I've got a question that's come through on Facebook for Monica. They say 5 years, what are you waiting for?
I feel like honestly, I have things that I want to achieve first on my side, and my partner also has things that he wants to achieve on the one side. So I feel like when the time is right, I mean, there's no time limit as to you need to date for like 10 years before you get married, or 2 years or 1 year. I just feel for me personally, it's not yet time, and we're working towards that time. And when the time is right, we'll get married.
Okay. All right, honey. Okay. I hope that will answer the question that we got on Facebook. Chantal, can you introduce yourself? I see you are connecting with another person. If you're connecting with another person, tell Chantal to go to the other room so the feedback doesn't come in. Okay, while Chantal is sorting herself out, let's go to the singles. Yes. So you guys who are single and not in a relationship, do you intend on getting into a relationship? Do you believe God has called you to be single? And why are you single? Why are you guys not in a relationship? So let's start off with Mfunwa. Yes.
Okay, so do I intend to be in a relationship? Yes, I do. And what was the other question? Sorry.
Okay, so do you intend to be in a relationship? So you've cancelled the other question of saying, do you believe Jesus called you to be single? And
many are called, but few are chosen. I'm not one. Why exclusion?
So why are you single? Why have you chosen to be in this season to be single and not date?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why, of course, this would answer why I left my past relationship. I just felt that there was room for me to really work on myself. It didn't end up in any dramatic way or form. We just, because we were both adults, we just both realized that, listen, it's not working on my side. She was an amazing person, but I just felt that, there's enough room for myself to really just explore myself and work on myself. And really also I was shifting into a new phase in my life, which needed me to really just focus on settling down and really enjoying my time with God. You see, I'm single. When you start including God, it's single, Baba. But
so when you're in a relationship, you don't include God. I mean,
yeah, I think that you do, but when people start reasoning their singlehood with God, Ran. But for me, I really felt that the person that I want to be with, now, if I'm getting into any relationship, would need to find me having dealt with certain things. I don't think it's fair for me to enter into somebody's life with baggage and all of that. So it's basically me just working on certain things.
So would you say you broke the other girl's heart because you were not ready?
No. I think we broke each other's hearts, Shem. We broke.
But you're contradicting yourself. Didn't you say that it ended off well? But now you're saying you broke each other's hearts.
Broke each other's hearts.
Like,
yeah.
Obviously,
when you do break it up, both of you guys are hurt. More especially when it's one thing when it's like one-sided. But it was, like I said, it was a mutual feeling where we both felt that this is not working. And because I just don't want to, I'm not the type of person who accounts for the next person. I'm accountable for my actions. She also had her own issues, which she can account for within her own capacity. But I'm just outlining certain things that I had to deal with. Like, for instance, I just really needed to deal with, really being isolated and needing my own space because I was just going through a certain phase in my life.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna take it over. I see Chantal is now good so Chantal, can you hear me? She's frozen. Oh, Chantal,
Yes,
can you hear us? Okay, can you introduce yourself? Are you in a relationship?
Yes.
What's your name? And are you Christian?
Okay, my name is Chantal Kufajine. I'm single. I'm not in a relationship. And yes, I am a Christian.
Okay, great. So I'm going to take the question over to Dee now. So Dee, why are you not in a relationship? Do you believe God has called you to be single? And if you intend on getting into a relationship, because I think offline you were telling us they will have to go through your pastor. So let us know how that is going to go and everything.
So, wait, what is the first question? Sorry, Nick. You know what? I should have written it down. I am single. Okay, why I'm still single? Okay, I'm waiting on the Lord. That's as plain straight up as I will put it. I don't know what's going to happen when I actually do meet that potential husband. I don't know, but I'm waiting on the Lord. I do not feel that I'm called to be single. I know Paul mentions in the Bible that some are called to be single, but he can't account for those who want to get married, blah, blah, blah. I know I want to get married, but obviously I'm waiting on the Lord. And what's your other question?
And my other question was, so remember we had a conversation offline. So you told us that if you are to get into a relationship, that you would make the person go through your pastor.
Yes, definitely. So how that normally works in our fellowship, I mean, each to their own, is that, let's for example, it's within our church, right? the brother would go to the pastor and be like, okay, I think I want to court Mpo, or whatever the case is. I don't know what conversation actually happens between the guy and the pastor, but I'm just going to put it in his hands because honestly speaking, the first time I courted in church, which was 2 years ago, it didn't work out right because now I was coming with my own ways of doing things back in the way. Back in the guys, not sure, we've been around. So I was coming with that mindset, and now I'm bringing it into church, and that did not work. That did not work at all. He would give me some warning signs, Tori, be careful, don't do this. And I just had this thing of, I'm gonna do hey, this is my life, I'm gonna do it my way. And listen, girl, I was in that relationship, man. It started off well. I was like, okay, brother, I see there you are the song leader and all these things you can preach, and I'm here the bassist or whatever they call them, people who play bass. But I was still dealing with.
He was a church boy.
Yes. So my problem was, you know, when you're entering relationships and you both didn't deal with certain things, I thought I was ready because we caught with the intention of getting married, right? I thought I was ready because I was like, okay, fine. I got my education down. I got a job that's paying me okay. You know, like we can actually make this work. And I thought, okay, fine, I'm ready. But when I was in the relationship, the issue of submission came and I was like, who you? Like, listen, who are you? You know, so I was, you know, and that's when I realized, sorry, am I really ready for this now? But after that, there was other things now that also happened in the whole thing because I like the quote that says, right always turns out right. So we didn't start the right way. There were some right intentions, but some of these other things were never really dealt with. Like I never asked the questions that I needed to ask. And some of the stuff that came out while we were in the courtship, I was like, these are red flags. All of these are just red flags. But I still stayed with that thing of, okay, God, maybe you can make it work, or maybe I'm just trying to run away from actually submitting. Maybe there's nothing wrong. I should have left, yes. But yeah, it's all good. I can't wait. Like, so in the end, I don't know if we broke each other's hearts because there was a time when I broke up with him. He stalked me. We got back together. And then I waited for him to go home. And
wait. Let's go back. And I'm posting. Wait.
Let me stop there. He stalked me after I broke up with him the first time, right? But I kept all of that a secret. I was like, I'm not gonna tell anyone that this is happening. I'm just gonna keep quiet. Sorry. So let me stop there. I have too many stories.
Wow.
Let me stop there.
Okay, I'm now gonna take it over to Tendo. Tendo, do you believe God has called you to be single? And if you don't believe He's called you to be single, do you intend on getting into a relationship to get married?
All right, so yeah, I'm like I said, I'm single, but I don't believe like I was called to be single. Like someone else said, many are called, but it's not me. So I'm very much
this whole panel has this conviction that no, me, I was not.
I'm not. I didn't get the call.
Ask you guys, how sure are you? How sure are you that God has not called you to be single?
Hey, I know.
Yeah, but that's a good question, Nikki.
Yes. So to those that are single, how sure are you?
My knows, all of you know.
You don't know.
Me, I know. Me, I know.
Me, I know.
All right, Tendo. And then, do you also come from a sticky situation, a sticky breakup? Okay, I think we broke up there. All right, Tendo, I'm gonna take
a sticky breakup. No, I've been.
Tendo, we have lost you. Okay, we're gonna get back to Tendo. I think we've lost you. Tendo, are you here with us? Are you back? Oh snap, Tendo.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. Yes, you were saying.
All right, so I think there's just a bit of a delay on my side, but let me just answer the fact that yes, I don't don't think I'm called to be single. I intend to get married, but I want to emphasize the fact that, like, I don't like how when it's either single or married, and everything in between, you are waiting to get married. Like, that's some sort of destination I have to be.
Sure, Tendo, you've got a very valid
I
point
want to
there.
get married, yes, but
Sure.
I'm not necessarily like applying.
Tendo, you've got a valid point, and I want us to touch on that point. So I'm going to get our technical guy to contact you to try sort out the network. While we are sorting out your network, let's go to Chantal. Chantal, because that's the next single in the group. Yes. Chantal, do you believe God has called you to be single?
That's a tricky one because I was in a relationship, nearly married as well. So one thing I've noticed is if I can allow God's will to be done, it might be my will to get married and have a family and stuff like that. But then at the end of the day, it's God's will that that comes first. So I can have all these plans in my head, but then if it's not God's will for me, it's not God's will for me. And as much as I would love to get married, and if it's not God's will for me, I'll just have to obey, because God's will is always the right way. It's always like a righteous way, you benefit so much from it should you follow God's will. So I do desire to get married, but if it's not God's will for me, then it'll be a tough decision, but I'll just have to follow God's will. But I do desire to get married and to be in a relationship.
I like that question. So my question to all of you guys is, are you guys in the will of God? Are you in the will of God? And do you believe the desires you have, those that want to get into a relationship, those that are in a relationship right now, do you believe that it's God aligned? It's the question to the whole panel.
Sorry, could you repeat that again one more time?
Okay, so the question I asked was, so Chantal's response was her desire is to want to be in a relationship, but if it's not God's will, then she will align herself to God's will. So my question to all of you guys, those that are single, those that are in a relationship, would you say you are in God's will or you're doing your own desires?
Can I go first?
Wait, Chantal, you gave us your answer. So, yeah, thanks, Steve, for putting it in the chat. So, we've heard from Chantal. Before we get to Chantal, and everyone else to give their opinion, because Chantal put it out there, and I like that you put it out there. That's a good one. So, do you believe those that are in a relationship, do you believe it's God's desire or it's your own desire? And those that are single, do you believe it's your desire or it's God's desire?
I think I'm in God's will, to be honest with you, because I've prayed, I have done everything, I've been patient, not for months or weeks, but years, being patient. I have set aside the person that I'd like to be with and settle down with. And yeah, I have someone who meets that, like the whole criteria. So I'm pretty happy. So I'd like to think and I'd like to believe that I am in God's will. I'm doing God's will.
All
Happy
right.
Yeah.
Funa, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd like to believe that I'm in God's will.
Why are you smiling like this whole sad face like, yeah.
No, but what do you mean? No, do you think it's like, could it be, okay, for all the viewers out there, could it be that God wills for me to be in a relationship and I'm just deciding, nah, nah. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, but all I'll say is, when Mujolo shows you flames, right? It's another way of God trying to sit you down and just really. That's how I see it. And like I said, I think it's God's will for me to become a better version of myself, and that's my reasoning of staying single. If I was staying single for other reasons, maybe to sleep around and all of that, I wouldn't think it would be God's will for me to really not be confined with someone that I can be accountable to. So yeah, I think it's you see, God is even replying now. My phone is falling, but yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's God. Okay, it's God's will. It's God's will for me.
Wow.
On Tinder, we have you back on. Great. So, Dee, what's your response to it? Do you believe you're in God's will?
I truly believe I'm in God's will right now, because in this period of my singlehood, I feel like I've grown, like I've been molded in so many different ways possible. Like, listen, when I look at the person that I am today and the person that I was like 2 years ago or 5 years ago, I'm totally different. And I believe also that your question also said, do we believe that our desires are also the will of God or not?
Yes.
So I'm actually going to answer. I answered with me being single right now. Do I think that that's God's will? Yes. And I truly believe when it comes to being married that it's both. That it's my will that I want to get married, but I also think or believe that it's his will for me to get married as well. Because in the fellowship that I'm in, to be like sent out there to go evangelize, you go as a couple, right? And I feel I'm called to actually take the gospel further than where I am right now. And to do that, I'll be partnered to my covering. So yeah.
So, Precious, you're season 2. Do you believe that's God's will?
Sure, Nikki, you make sure she doesn't forget.
I mean, if I did the next episode, it should be as well.
Precious came in for those that have joined.
The next season.
No, guys, the reason I'm calling it season 2, she's the one who described what a season 2 is to us. So Chantal and Neville, Precious is in a relationship. She's been in a relationship, but she's in season 2 of a relationship. So it's still with the same guy. And they're now back together again, hoping they will get married. That was her prayer. I also pray that for you, please. So would you say your season 2 is God's will?
You know, there's something which Mufuna said, which made me second guess my answer. He said something like, Mfuna, you can correct me. I don't want to misquote you because you're here.
I'm actually worried that you're taking my advice, but carry on.
No, it's something which he said. It's something which he said that made me think. So you said something like, you know, when Jolo shows you flames and when it ends, that's basically God's way of saying, hey, finish, let it go. And my original answer was going to be, I'd like to believe that me being in a relationship right now is part of God's will. But after hearing what you said and me first going through an entire relationship, it ending, and then me rejoining and starting a whole season, made me think, okay, is it my will for myself? And God was basically ending it. And then I was just like, hey, let's try again and see where this goes. But I'd like to believe that where I am right now with my relationship is part of God's will. And the reason why I say that is obviously because of prayer, you know. There's this prayer which my friend her and I always talk about. We always say, God, if this person is not in your will, if they're not in my future, take them away. But while you take them away, let me be okay with it. So I actually pray that prayer almost every day, and I'm still here.
So what if you're still here because of your own desires and you are now trying to sift through your filters? Like, it's just a question because
yeah. So, I mean, that's a very good question. It's a very good question. That's why I said I'd like to believe that I am where I am right now is part of God's will.
Got you.
Yeah.
Sia, you've been quiet. So Sia, do you believe the relationship you're currently in, that you're taking day by day, is God's will? You're on mute, Sia. You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. I just think it's all about seasons, and I think I served well in my season of singleness, and now it's time that I, serve in another season, which is being in a relationship. And I think it's really all about, whichever season you're in, is it getting you closer to God? If the answer is yes, and then that is God's will. But if it's drawing you away from God, and then you need to start questioning that relationship.
Yep.
I like that.
Bars.
No. Monica,
Wisdom.
your 5-year relationship, honey. Do you believe it's a God-ordained relationship?
With no season 2.
With no season 2, by the way. They've been 5 years straight.
Okay, I feel like I really do feel that my relationship is within God's will, because I feel like in the beginning of my relationship, right, I was still in that phase of we jollaring, nice, until I started like praying about, like I took it upon myself, like, you know what, actually I'm investing so much time in this thing, I'm investing so much time in this person and trying to make this whole thing work. So I need to really know if I'm wasting my time. Am I just playing around? Obviously, I was playing around, but it got to a point where I was like, you know what, I don't want to play around anymore, because I actually see something in this person. I like being around this person. This person helps me grow and everything. So once I started like praying about my relationship, I feel like a lot was revealed to me that made me want to make it work. You know, I had that desire to make sure that, you know what, I actually want this to make it work, because I really feel that it's more than just dating, you know, it's more than just we love each other, or we like being around each other, or we look cute together. It was more than that. So I really feel like the more I started praying about it, the more he started praying about it, the more we started praying about it together, then I feel like it becomes clearer for both of us to see that, you know what, this is something that is more spiritual than physical, more than us just being together because we wanted to be together. So I really think, I mean, sometimes we go astray, and sometimes the things that we might do, as not just myself, as people in relationships, may not be aligned to God's will. But ultimately, I really do feel that my relationship is within God's will.
Okay. Tendo, do you believe you are in God's will right now to being single?
I do. I truly believe, I'm fully convicted that the Lord desires for me to get married one day. So I believe that right now in this season, like Sia said, about seasons, I'm working on myself, and I understand that it is a single.
Hi, Tendo.
Can you hear me?
Okay, you keep breaking. Am I the only one who's hearing Tendo breaking?
No, she's breaking.
I also hear her breaking.
You're breaking, Tendo. Okay, we'll try get our technician to sort you out, honey. Let me get my hubby to call you. D, I see your hand is up. What's up?
Yes, I wanted to just add a comment to what Precious said after she made reference to what Mufuno said, right? And when things end, I strongly believe that, like, each to their own. It does not also necessarily mean that you need to change partners now, change direction. It could be that, yes, this is the person, but take a break, let God work on you, so that when you two have found who you are in Christ, then he brings you back again. There's also that element, because I can testify that my current pastor and his wife, they got divorced, right? I can't remember how many years ago, like over 12, 13 years ago, because there was a lot of things, like they got married for the wrong reasons the first time around. You know, the thing of where you have your child before you get married, then now you quickly get married, then things were just a mess. Then they got a divorce when she was like, no, we can't do this anymore. And then when they got saved, it was a thing of, yeah, they would see each other here and there, but when they got saved, their pastor then was like, you gotta make things right. You don't just leave covenants. And when they had found themselves who they are in Christ, they didn't just only come back together because they had a child already who was now, I think, 12 or 10 or whatever, but it was that thing of, wait, actually God had us where he wanted us. We are the ones who didn't listen, and now he's saying come back together again, and they have a very powerful ministry to this day.
Wow, powerful. And then I'm going to take it back to Chantal, and then I'm now going to go to the questions I sent you guys. Oh, wait, I see Precious has raised her hand. Yes, Precious, what's up?
No, it's okay. I actually had a question, but I'm thinking let me ask it later because I don't want to overtake your questions.
Okay, Chantal,
Yeah.
so do you believe, you answered us and you told us you are single because it's, you know, and you then went on to say, if it's God's desire for you to be in a relationship or to be single, you will follow his desires. So currently right now, you being single, is that God's desire?
I should believe so because the relationship through my singleness, I found myself, I started to, because I was that girl who was always in a relationship, to be very honest, always, like Chantal was never single. Like she'll go from 2-week relationships to 1-month relationships to 1-year relationships. So Chantal was never single. So I never got to discover myself. And I also never got to work on my relationship with God. So me right now is me enjoying my singleness, me enjoying my relationship with God, because I had to fix my relationship with God first before I could actually commit to a relationship. So I believe, yes, this is God's will for me to be single right now, for me to get to know God even more, you know, for me to like really connect to God. So I will personally say, yes, this is God's desire. I can feed it from my heart to my soul, to my feet, to my head. This is God's desire.
Girl. Yes, honey.
So no, because you know, there's so much joy that comes from it. You know, so much people don't believe me when I say there's so much joy that comes from you being single. Right now, for me, I'm appreciating this moment in order for me to appreciate my relationship moment. So right now, I'm appreciating my singleness. Until then, I can be, because you know how God trusts you with the small, then He'll trust you with larger portions. So right now, I'm appreciating my singleness, and then I'll appreciate the relationship much better, because I did not appreciate relationships before. I wasn't ready personally for relationships, and I now see why I wasn't ready, because I had to fix certain things within myself to be ready to be in a relationship with someone else.
Got you. So my question then to you guys is there a difference with being single in the world and being single as a Christian? And I'll ask that to also the people who are in a relationship. Is there a difference with jolaring in the world and jolaring in under the Christian umbrella? So Monica, you're nodding very much. What's your take on this?
I think there definitely is a difference with being single in the world and within Christianity, and also with dating. It's different because when you're in the world, I feel like, for lack of a better word, your relationship is not tamed, right? For lack of a better word, it's not guided by certain things. You just do whatever you're doing because there aren't rules that you're following. You are not guided by anything. You're just doing as you please. But when you're in a relationship and you're a Christian, there are certain things that you know you need to follow as a Christian. There are certain things that you know you can't do as a Christian. There are certain things that you know you need to abide by as a Christian. So I feel like definitely the relationships between being within the world and being within Christianity differ. And yeah, that's just how it is. If you're a Christian child, you know that there's certain things you can't do as a Christian child who's in a relationship, who is single, who's looking for a relationship, you know, whatever it is that is tied to being in a relationship, you know that there are certain things that you need to follow. There are certain things that you need to understand. And there are certain things you need to abstain from as a Christian child of God. Whereas when you're in the world, you just do as you please. There's no one to tell you, no, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to follow this, you need to follow that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there definitely is a difference.
Can I go deeper into the question, which I'll then also get Mfuna to answer as well, and all of you guys? So Monica said there's certain things you need to abstain from. So what are these things? Because, you know, Mjolo in the world and Mjolo in the Christian world, and being single in the world and being single in the Christian world are two different things, because you get people who are saying, I'm still human. Yes, I may be single, but I still have desires I need to fulfill. So I'm going to buy a vibrator or whatever the cases are. So I'm going to pose this question to Mfuna and then to everybody else. But Mfuna, the question I've asked, what's the difference? And what are these things that you need to abstain from that Monica mentioned?
Yeah. the difference specifically is the fact that when is the center. When you are dating or when you are single, as a Christian, Christ becomes the center of your life. And therefore that distinguishes you not just in the dating scene, but all roundedly. And so when that now leads to abstinence, because it's very hard to talk about abstinence when Christ is not the center to start with. And I think that speaks to one of the things that I may have failed in my past relationships, where even when I was dating another Christian, we didn't necessarily put Christ as our center. And so abstinence came from, okay, you shouldn't come sleep over at my place, or you should leave my place at this time of the day. And those things are just human-made rules that don't really help you to abstain. There isn't like a reason. It's you are just making up rules and laws, and you going back to living under the law. But when you truly put Jesus as the center of your lives or of your relationship, abstinence comes naturally, or should I say spiritually, because you're living life through the Spirit. And so you start abstaining from all sexual immorality, even if she's there to sleep over. Even if she sleeps over, because you've put Christ as the center of your relationship. Entering into sexual immorality, that if you've generally put Christ in the center, that's not going to happen. And so, because I've seen people who would say, yeah, no, we put plans that she's not going to come sleep over, and so she's just going to come in the afternoon. Guess what? You're still going to bang in the afternoon. Banging doesn't have time limit, right? You go, right? But I'm just being because I'm answering the question about abstinence, and usually within this conversation, it would speak around sexual immorality. The difference between Christians, whether you're single or dating, is where your center is, or where your platform is, or your foundation is centered, and that is Christ.
Okay, I see Dee has her hand up, and I even saw her face when you mentioned sleepover. Dee, what's up, girl?
And I'm gonna ask you. Sorry, Nikki. I don't mean to sidetrack where we're going with this, but
it's a conversation. So let's go.
While it's so hard, is it okay for Christians who are dating, or even if they're not, maybe it's friends, whatever, to have the opposite sex come sleep over?
That's a good question. Precious, I see your hand is up. You want to answer that?
Okay. No, I don't want to answer it now. I will answer it as I go on, right?
Answer, girl.
Answer, girl.
I want to, but I want to like lay a foundation for my answer, or for everyone else to answer, right? But I feel like as unmarried Christians, whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship, our biggest challenge is umjolo, right? Because with that comes a lot of things. You know yourself, you know what you believe in, you know what is right and you know what is wrong. However, you find yourself, and anyone who wants to fight me is fine, you can fight me, I'll send you my address. You find yourself compromising.
Okay.
But I want to, because I know there are probably people who are watching, and I don't think they want us to sit here and act like we pretending, but I think they want us to have open and honest conversations, right? So I feel like one thing which we're all, single or in a relationship, we fight with is sexual immorality. I don't even want to put it in quotes.
No,
sexual immorality, right? And I feel like whether I sleep over at Mufuna's house, it's whatever. What if I'm helping him with accounting and it's getting really late and I can't go home or whatever? I have to sleep over, right? It's the intention that comes into play. If I go there and I by mistake tutor him for way too long, only for me to know that, no, I know that Mufuna is going to say, no, Precious, why don't you sleep over? You can drive out in the morning. That was my intention, was to be there till late, right? Meaning that I want something to happen. My intention of going there was not only to tutor him, but it was to do more things. However, him and I are still Christians. Jesus is the center of my life. He's the center of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So now it gets really, really tricky when we talk about sex and Christianity and stuff. Actually, before I close that chapter, there's something I want to ask. So
Yeah.
Mfuna mentioned that, hey, but you're throwing these hints. Hey, the way I'm referring to you.
Yeah, you tease.
Like, my name is Precious. Please focus. Season 2.
No,
Too Precious. Your man got to be all up in Mfuna's case.
No, it's because what he's saying is triggering like a lot of things, right? And a lot of questions and questions about the conversation. So Mufuna kept saying, actually all of you kept saying that no, we need to be this, Jesus needs to be the center of our relationship. What if Jesus is the center of my life, right? And I assume that he's the center of our relationship. However, my partner is how can I put this in a cute way? Is a
No, say it raw. Why are we trying to keep it cute?
Yeah. So okay,
no,
cool.
we
So
ain't gotta keep it cute. Be real.
all right.
Speak. Uh-huh.
So say I'm a Christian.
Mhm.
So say I'm a Christian and my partner is a non-believer, but he believes in God, but he's just not on can I call it my believing level? I don't know. I don't know what words to use. So
But-
how
But Precious, you mentioned you're a Christian, right? And I'm just gonna jump in here. And you mentioned that you live by this because the first question was, do you guys have what's the difference between dating as a single in a Christian world and in the worldly world? As Christians, we all know what unequally yoked is, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So to your answer,
okay, I hear you.
Okay, but before Nick, just to answer, I think Nick, you can also just read.
Yes.
Yo, sorry. Hey, no, it's my tongue is entangled. But if you could just answer Precious.
Yep.
If you can just answer Precious using Due, Zenzo, Ephraim's second last comment about if as a guy. That's a very, if you just put it that way, but from the guy's perspective, to say you can remain abstain, but he will be on the other hand. If you could just read it out, because it's
so I think is it the comment where he says, if as a guy I decide to keep it pure, the truth is while I wait for the mango to get ripe, someone is eating it with salt. Huh?
Yes, but then on the other side, now this is because if Precious is the one who is trying to keep it pure, now the guy is the one who is on the other hand, if he's not in that space or thinking capacity.
See, I've got a person who's watching. They're asking, what do you think on that question? They said, Siankosi, what do you think? So they want to know your view.
On Precious's question.
Let me to the person watching, Tembi, can you clarify what do you want to know about Sia? Is it the Precious's question or what we asked? While we wait for that, Chantal and Neville, you guys are quiet.
We're listening. We're listening. We're listening.
No,
I think,
answer the question. Is there a difference between single in the world and single in the Christian, Mjolo in the world and Mjolo being a Christian? And what are the things that we abstain from as Christians?
obviously you abstain from sex as Christians. And but the idealistic thing is for both Christians and non-Christians, when they're dating, the main aim, here we're talking about mature relationships. The main aim is for them to get married, right? Because it's not only Christians that get married, and it's not only the Christians that are solid in their relationships. You've got Christians that cheat. You've got Christians that do all sorts of things, the same things that worldly people would do. So let's not paint a picture and say that Christians we are only people that date proper. Dating is msulwa. Dating is righteous. We're not the only ones. There's people out there in the world that date better than us Christians. You know what I mean? Because their ethos and their modus operandi is way better than what we have as Christians. You know, so at the end of the day, yes, we need God. Yes, we need to be able to date well as Christians. But it also comes to how you're taught, or what you've learned from the time you're growing up, and what you're taught by seeing from friends, from families, and everything. You know, what we see in the church is a facade, to be honest with you. People say what they want to say, but it's who you are in here. I was talking to my girlfriend, and I was asking her, I was like, so with the way you are as a person, what taught you? Was it the church that taught you, or was it what taught you? And she basically said, it's what I learned for myself, what I learned through my family, what I learned through friends, through growing up. And of course, you get to hear these teachings in church, and it officializes the point and says, okay, this is what's supposed to be done. So what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to sidetrack, but what I'm trying to say is, I think it's who you are as a person, you know, and it helps if you've got God in you, you know. So the way you're raised is of paramount importance, and if you have God, it's really important, because there are people who go to church, but at night they light what's it called, incense, you know, to chase away ancestors. But this person goes to church, so obviously this person has not been taught the proper oracles of the living God, like how it's supposed to be done, you know. So what's the best thing to do? The best advice I'd give is watch your parents or your guardians, learn from them, learn how they treat each other as a couple, you know, learn how your dad treats his wife, learn how your mom treats her husband, you know. Let's not say people in the church, because church, we know what church is like now in the 21st century. You know what it's like. You know what I mean?
As for me, there is a difference between, okay, I can't say I'm out of experience, but I just do feel there is a difference between dating when you are Christian and dating when you're not. Because personally, when I was not really, my relationship with God wasn't real, or wasn't like on that connection. I didn't really value relationships. I'll have sex, random sex here and there, cheat. I had basically no morals as such. I'll just live a wild life. But then out of that wild life, I will be depressed out of that wild life. So like I'll have sex and then the next day I'm depressed. When I was having sex, I enjoyed the sex, but then I would come back home, but I'm depressed. Why? So I'm still on my journey. So I only started my journey of singleness about a year and a half ago. So I haven't really got into a relationship in dating a person to where I am right now. But I did hear one of my friends say, when you make love to the woman God assigned for you, the woman the woman you are falling in love with, it's the best sex that you will ever have, and you feel great afterwards. I haven't yet experienced that, so I do feel there is a vast difference between dating now and dating when you're in a relation, when you're Christian. So I do feel that.
I see Sia has his hand up as well as Mpo, but let's go to Sia and then we'll go to Mpo. Yes, Sia. And the question the person wanted you to answer was the question I asked: is there a difference with dating in the world and as a Christian, and is there a difference within being a single in the world and being single in the world? And what are the things that as Christians people are meant to abstain from? But you can, I see your hand was up for another thing, I'm sure, but you can go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to go back to Precious's question when she asked, what happens if you're a Christian, but your partner isn't? You know, what happens then? And I just wanted to say that I don't think it's going to work out. I think because I've been in a relationship like that, where I was a Christian and I had a relationship with God and my partner didn't. So it's a decision that you need to make and take it very personally, because the minute you're in that relationship, it's like you're in it alone. When you pray, you're praying alone. You know, when you go to church, you're going to church alone. So God is not invited in the relationship. So if you ever in a situation like that, I think you need to just, you know, you need to make your intentions clear and excuse yourself from it.
And then do you want to answer the question that we had, that is there a difference with mjolo in the world and mjolo in a Christian aspect, and single in the world and single in the Christian aspect?
I think there is. Mufuna said it's all about, you know, who's the center of the relationship. But I think it's also about where's the relationship going? What is your reason for being in that relationship? Because I think, you know, when you're dating out there in the world, you're just dating for the sake of dating. You know, you're dating because you're trying to fill a void. Some people, you're dating because you're trying to find yourself in someone else. You know,
that's actually so deep.
Whereas when you're dating and it's in a Christian environment, I think you know yourself in God, right? So you're not dating to fool yourself with someone else, because God already fills you. And you are driven by the will of God or the desires that God has for your life. And you and your partner and whatever, whether it works out or not, I think you learn a lot more from it than if you were just dating out there in the world for the sake of dating.
Deep. D, before I go to Tendo, I see we lost Monica. Shame, she's been attacked by load shedding. Guys, South Africa, be with us. But anyway, D, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, okay, let me first answer the question whether I think there's a difference between Christian dating and worldly dating. There is. Worldly dating, there's little to no moral standards. Everything goes like Chantal mentioned earlier on. I mean, you can sleep with someone today, don't feel bad about it, or even stay in a long-term relationship and not feel bad about it at all. And but in the Christian setting now, there's the stuff that Monica mentioned we need to abstain from: sexual immorality, understanding what submission is in a covering. Because I came from a community where you see some of the mothers actually holding up their households, where in the Bible it tells you something else, that the father or the man is the covering. So even in dating, I feel like in the Christian setting, a man needs to know his role and the woman needs to know her role. But in the world, check, anything goes. That is my take on it. In the world, anything goes. Like the woman can, like, it's there's no structure, if I may put it like that. And then the other thing that I wanted to just comment on, it's something that Mufuna mentioned earlier on about the whole sleepover thing. And I remember Precious commented on that as well. You know what, each to their own, but for me and how we are being discipled, that's not on. Because your intentions might be right in terms of, okay, fine, you're just gonna study or whatever. But what's really interesting, when I check some stories in the Bible, in most cases, some of the greatest falls started like that. So I feel like we should never get to a point where we're testing how far can a person actually go. Like, how far can you get close to hell and not smell like smoke? That's just my take on that. So yeah.
Okay, Tendo, I hear you're now good to go, girl. Yes, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, it is sounding nice. Yay! So the question was, what's the difference with Christian mjolo and worldly mjolo, and being single in the world and being single as a Christian?
All right. So I missed most of your guys' answers. I'm not sure if I'm going to be repeating. However, for me, I think there is a difference. In the world, there is no standards really to dating. But when you're dating under the umbrella of Christianity, I find comfort in that, because the most important thing is, I believe I'm dating someone who's in relationship with God. I'm dating someone who has a higher form of authority over what we say right here in front of each other. So with that comes all those things like accountability and submission and so forth and so forth. But I think at the core, with Christian dating, you're dating someone who is in relationship with God first before you. That means he will be able to treat you in a way that God intends him to treat you, and me treating him in the way he should be treated as well. So I think that's the major difference. The major difference is you have someone who has a higher authority when you're dating under Christianity. When you're dating in the world, there's no rules. Anything goes. You need to just literally, you have to be asking questions all the time because you're not too sure if you're on the same page. You need to be second guessing. You need to make sure, are we exclusive? Are we dating? Are we seeing other people? You know, there's so many things. There's so many different things that can contribute. So yeah, there is a difference, and yeah.
So then my question to you guys then now in this instance is, would you say people who do not know Christ and are in the world, are they missing something? Because most of you said standards, most of you brought in values, most of you said you got a purpose. So those that don't know God and are watching this, would you then tell them that you guys don't have a purpose, you don't have standards, you don't have values? And how would you then get another person who doesn't have God in their personal life to want to live out being single in a Christian way or date in a Christian way, having heard what you guys have said and put out on the platform? Sia.
Okay, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Okay, while you think about it, you got an answer?
I just think you can't force someone to accept Jesus into their lives. I think that's something that there has to be an inner conviction. You know, someone can go to church for 10 years and still not accept Christ. So I think yeah, I think I'm gonna keep quiet until I can put this like properly and then tell you guys.
Okay. Dee, do you want to give it a shot?
Mute. Okay. For me, you know what? Sometimes we can look at the people in the world, and some of them will look happy, will look like they're actually making it and killing it in life. And some of them will even say, you guys in church are missing out, like we are living the best life or whatever. But with things like that, right? If it's on a social platform, I still feel like that's still a facade. You know, when it's on the reality shows and all of that, that is still for me a facade. And some of them might actually come together and say that they have a common purpose, and their common purpose is maybe to build an empire or whatever the case is. So for me, I wouldn't say that like they're more successful than other people who are maybe in church and are just living their best lives, but on a lower scale or whatever, however the world wants to put it. So for me, to say that what I would say to the people in the world who are in a relationship is that when it's Christ-centered, right? It's not just for the now. Yes, this world right now is what we know, but it's not all that there is. So as Christians who actually believe in God and believe in Jesus Christ, we have more, because whatever we do now is not just for now. So that is something that I would actually pose to them, because some people look at the cars, the houses, the businesses, the whatever. That's all for now. Yes, prosperity is fine, go for it. But when you have Jesus now in it, that's much more than something that's temporary. That's what I would put out there to all the couples in church, out in the world. It's not just for, it shouldn't just be for now.
And I think to all the singles, and I think as what you said, Mpho, that it's a facade. I think it's very visible with Will and Jada. They are, well, to the world, they are a perfect couple. I don't know if you guys watched yesterday's Jada's Red Table Talk. It was deep. Will looked hurt, bruh. I was like, this nigga cried. Like, no ways. He was hurt. He got hurt hardcore. And unfortunately, the world looks to those people as the ideal couple. And for me, it was like, when I watched that interview, I actually saw a lot of cracks and a lot of Like Will looks very hurt, guys. And who says to their wives, I'm gonna get you back for what is that thing? Entanglement that she had with the other guy. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. Tendo, what's your take on this?
I think I don't want to say that people that are in the world don't have standards or whatever. I just think it's a different set of rules. It's a different set of standards. So at the end of the day, you just need to decide for yourself, what is my standard? What do I want my relationship / marriage to look like? And live according to that. If you are watching Will and Jada and you identify with that and you feel like that's the type of marriage I am happy with, then those are the type of standards and sets you can go according to. If you feel like an open marriage is something that's okay for me, then do you, boo. But if I am being true to myself, I need to understand my set of standards may not be someone else's. And if I want a marriage that is ABC, I need to do ABC to get there as well.
And Precious, what's your take on this? Thanks, Tendo.
I agree with what everyone else is saying. I don't want to add much. I actually do, but I'm scared to be attacked.
Don't be scared. Listen, guys. So this is a safe space. And I think, guys, you need to understand, we live in a world where people will always come at you, regardless of what you say. Whether you do a good thing, people will always come at you. But if you live your truth, that is your truth, Precious. If that's your truth, that's your truth. That's what I live by, guys. I don't care what people say. I mean, even doing this whole thing, people will be like, why are you separating Christians from? Listen, it's my truth. There's a difference between worldly people and Christians. There is a difference. That's the reality. So Precious, speak your truth, honey. But I'll let you gain up the courage,
okay.
Let it gain up. Black Twitter. We're not on Twitter, thank the good Lord, because Black Twitter.
No, thank goodness.
But anyway, Neville and Chantal, what's your guys' take?
Hi. Okay. So I'll speak from my point of view of being single. You can be single, it's fine, but then it's better when there's God in it, to be very honest. Because when you're single, you feel lonely, you feel depressed, you feel what you have to lean on. Most people lean on men when they feel lonely. Most people lean on alcohol when they feel lonely. But when you have God, personally, I feel like I can lean on the word when I'm feeling lonely, because God will never leave me nor forsake me. Because there's times I'm so depressed when I'm in my loneliness, but then the Holy Spirit reminds me, Uti, no, I'm here for you. Why are you feeling depressed? Then all of a sudden, the joy of the Lord has come upon me. So from my personal point of view, it is better when there is God. Yes, you can be single and have your morals, but it is better when the God factor is in it.
Yes, when Mr. Dube?
I agree with everybody. But I'd like to say, as a Christian who is single or in a relationship, but in this case being single, we need to lead by example to people outside, because we're the light of the earth, you see. So we need to show people in the world that, look, it's cool to be in a relationship, it's cool to be single with Christ, right? By doing that I'm not saying let's alienate ourselves from non-believers, because we're not preaching the gospel, because it says in Mark, go ye therefore and preach the gospel. So if you're going to say, if we're going to be like keep to ourselves, like, no, we're Christians, we stick to ourselves and stuff, you're not preaching the word of God. Because sometimes it's not really about going to church and preaching behind a pulpit. It's about your actions during the week. It's about your actions from Monday to Saturday, what you do to people that you see that don't go to church, right? And people will look at you and say, okay, this guy is single, but this is how he acts. Okay, you may not be perfect all the time, because we're not perfect, right? But people will see how you act during that period in time. So I would like to encourage all of us in the panel and those that are watching, that if we've got people that are, say, not in Christ, let's not exclude them. Let's show them the way, how it can be done. Because in as much as we're not perfect and we don't know maybe what we may be doing, God is helping us. What you be doing is also teaching you. It also preaches to you, because the way I'm speaking now and what I'm listening, what the good points you guys are hearing, I'm going to apply these principles to my relationship. You know, we're not perfect as a panel here, but we are just trying to edify what we have and just enjoy what we have, and also take things into perspective and use them for ourselves. You know, so let's try and incorporate. I've got a heart for souls. You know, so the way we act as Christians the way we act as Christians is very detrimental to how the world will perceive us, you know. So let's not give guys in the world a reason to not want to be like a single Christian, or a Christian who's in a relationship, or a Christian who is married. That's all I have to say.
And can I just also say to that quickly, just as an example, like during the singleness, being an example to my peers, being an example to people around me. I mentioned earlier on that people didn't understand that I'm happy and I'm single. They didn't understand that stereotype. So people have also come to me questioning, why are you so happy when you're single? And I can put the God factor into it, and then it kind of opens up people's hearts. So I agree with Nebo of being an example to people who actually will bring people actually even more closer to God. You don't even have to preach, just by your mere actions.
True. Welcome back, Monica. So now my next question, it's a spicy question. You can choose to answer or not to answer. So those that are in a relationship, are you practicing celibacy? Those that are single, are you practicing celibacy? And those that don't know what celibacy is you see, I'm not going to ask whether you're a virgin or not, but the question, so celibacy is if you've had sexual encounters, so if you've had sex and you've decided, nope, I'm not going to do sex, I'm not going to have sex anymore, I'm just going to save it for my husband. Those that are in a relationship, are you saving sex for when you get married eventually? And if you're in a relationship, how far is too far? What are your guys' boundaries? What do you guys, can you kiss? Do you touch? Yeah. How far is too far? Actually, you guys are saying you're jollaring as Christians. So we all have established there's a difference. Because Jola in the world, brother, there's no limits. I can touch you anywhere and be good. So as Christians, those that are in relationships, how far is too far? Are you celibate? And then to the singles, are you celibate? And if you say you're celibate, are you okay? No. Are you celibate in the sense that you are not satisfying yourselves in any way? There's no vibrator. You are on the straight and narrow, because we're human beings. So I'm gonna pose that first question to D as a single.
To my mic. Hi. Okay. Yo, there's a lot of questions there. Wait,
okay, so
which one is for the people in the?
So to you, D, as a single. So to you as a single person, D, are you practicing celibacy? And in that sense, you're not doing anything. You're not touching yourself. You're not watching porn. You don't have no vibrators, because there's singles in the world who they don't have sex, right? But they will satisfy their needs.
Yeah. Let me. I'm gonna answer that question from both standings, for when I was single in the world to now being a single in Christ. So back in the world, it was that thing of, as long as there's no sexual intercourse, as long as there's no penis, it's fine. That was me in the world, right? And I remember when I got saved, part of me still thought that was okay. And then I was sitting in the sermon and they were preaching about pornography and stuff in the beginning, and I was like, whoa, okay, so that is wrong. And I was listening to the message and I'm checking the scriptures and I was like, ish, okay, sharp, now I need to repent. So for me right now in my singleness, and a lot of people, they find this very hard to believe, but it is possible. It is possible to be celibate. It is possible not to use a vibrator or fingering yourself or whatever you want to call it, but it is possible to get to that stage. Because one thing I learned when I got saved was that some of these things, even though you're not physically having sexual intercourse, if you entertain it, it plants a seed of lust, because now you are awakening some of these emotions and all these feelings that want more and more and more from you every time. Once you start, I don't know, it's each to their own, but this was my experience. Once you start with that whole self-satisfaction, you want more. I wanted more and more of it every time, and that's when at the end I got to realize, hold up, wait, this is a spirit and I actually need to cut it off. Because if I don't, right, I might actually go into a relationship with some of those tendencies. And I've actually heard of some people whereby they got married and they didn't want to have any sexual intimacy with their partner. Some of them preferred porn rather, or preferred a vibrator in marriage, right? Because they were so addicted to self-satisfying themselves, or whatever you want to put it, however you want to put it. So for me, nothing, zero, clean slate. Remember in the beginning I said clean slate. When I said clean slate, I meant nothing. No text, no nudes, no vibrator, no fingering, no watching porn, no FM, whatever magazines, nothing. Because I know myself. Like, I know myself, and I know that once you open, as humans, once you open that little door, whether it's a page, a picture, whatever, it creates something in your brain and it doesn't go away. It stays there. And once it stays there as a seed, all it needs is the devil to come whisper something in your ear and it starts to grow. So I keep it clean.
Facts. I'm gonna take it to a relationship now. Sia, what are your thoughts in your relationship? Are you and your partner practicing celibacy? And how far is too far with you and your partner?
Okay.
Plead the fifth, my guy. Plead the fifth.
You know, things happen, guys. Things happen. Okay, I don't want to lie to you guys. Things happen. It is what it is. I'm not. Look, I'm a work in progress. I'm honestly a work in progress. Okay, I know where my faults are. I'm not perfect. I'm working on it. That's it.
Okay, no, we'll leave it there. You're working on it. Let me take it to another single. Tendo, are you practicing celibacy? And in that you're not pleasing yourself in any kind of way? Yeah.
So I'm practicing celibacy, I guess, but I can't sit here and say it's like it's circumstances. Circumstances have brought me here into the celibate state. No, man, no, but on the real, like I've actually made a conscious decision that celibacy, I'm about that life. But like, see, like I'm a work in progress as well. Like I can't say next month or in 6 months from now I'll still be here. I would like to still be here, but work in progress, let's say that.
Work in progress. Okay, I'm going to take it to a relationship. So Precious, are you and your partner practicing celibacy? And how far is too far in your relationship?
I'm so careful about my answers because I know my parents are going to watch this, right? So I agree with everything Sia said. Every single thing. Everything. That's why I was laughing so hard. I was just like, boy, I know what you mean. But yeah. Next.
So you are a work in progress.
I'm a work in progress.
Which is good. Which is good, guys. I like that we're admitting we are a work in progress. I was also once there. A work in progress.
Yeah. I just have like this very weird thought. It's a terrible thought, but I think it anyway, and I wish I didn't. I keep thinking to myself, if I'm with this person and we're eventually gonna get married, like surely.
Okay. So I get your point. So you've
Excuse
got
me?
that. Yes, yeah. What are you saying?
Yeah, say what you wanted to say. No, say. Huh?
It's fine. Carry on.
Okay. No, Nikki, continue, please.
No, I get what you're saying, Precious. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're dating, why not? Because you're gonna get married, right? But what if you don't get married? Feda, this is season 2 for you, girl. So we need to be sure. Like,
Sure.
no, like I'm trying to help you out. Like,
You see why I'm
like,
careful with my answers because you're attacking me now. I'm kidding. No, you're right. Like I said, it's a thought which I know it's a terrible thought. I know it's bad. I know it's bad. However, sometimes I still think it anyway.
I get you.
So I think it because I'm trying to comfort myself. You know, I know that something is wrong, but I'm just like, you know, it's
totally get you. I'm gonna go to another single. Chantal, are you celibate? Are you practicing celibacy and you're not touching yourself? You're not satisfying yourself? You are single. Yeah, celibate, pure.
So yes, I am celibate. But the beginning of my celibacy, I did watch porn. I was touching myself and all that. Till I got taught through one of your podcasts that no, porn is actually wrong for you and stuff like that in certain ways, which people can go through your Instagram and watch it. But then it's something that I was taught. I just thought, no, if I'm not having sex, I'm fine, you know. But now, since I am now I've been taught, like I'm on a journey. So I've been taught that no, pornography and touching yourself is actually not right for you. So I have stopped it. But obviously the thought is still there, and I really ask God for guidance when the thought comes to me. So I can say I am on a good road of not. I've left that behind me, but it's the thought comes here and there. But then I have asked God, like when it comes to guide me.
Nice answer. Cool. Monica, in a relationship, your 5-year relationship, have you guys practiced celibacy? And how far is too far in your relationship?
Okay, so within our relationship, we have practiced celibacy. And I feel like I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy. You just practice it and that's just it. There's no temptation. There's nothing that comes to you, because I feel like we're living in a society where sex has been, it's so commercialized. It's just made, it's not even holy. It's just a thing you need to be doing, whether you're a Christian who's in a relationship or whether you're like, you're just in the world and you're in a relationship. Sex has not, it's not that thing where people are now waiting for their partner to have sex with them or waiting for the right person in order for them to practice sexual intercourse, you know? So I feel like I am practicing celibacy, but I'm not going to sit here and say sometimes, especially when you're in a relationship that you know you intend on having end in marriage, you just, because you know people are, you ask yourself, okay, Sharp, I'm going to marry this person. So then why don't I just, because we are fine. It's not like I'm intending on being with another person or trying to find someone for next door. I know that this is the person I'm going to end up with in marriage. So why don't I just, you know? And I feel like those thoughts do come when you're so sure that, you know what, this is the guy I'm going to marry. Then why do I have to wait? God knows I'm going to marry this guy. You know, me and this guy, we're serious. We're talking marriage. We're talking future. So why do we have to wait? Let's just start now, you know? And those things happen. But I feel like it's things that we need to pray about, considering that it's a reality. People are having sex. It's not a secret. You know what I'm saying? And as a Christian who's in a relationship, who's saying, you know what, I want this to work. I want to make sure that I do things by the book. I'm going to try, you know, because temptation is a thing. I'm going to try and make sure that, you know what, we're both saving ourselves for marriage. So I am practicing celibacy, but I feel like it's very tricky, and that's why you need to pray about it. That's why you really need to pray about it, because these things happen, and although sometimes we don't intend for things to happen, you know, you can sit and be like, you know what, I'm gonna save myself. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna practice such things. I'm not gonna be part of people who watch porn and all those things. But temptation is there. And like Dee already said, it's a spirit, and we don't sit and wait and welcome the spirit to come. Things happen. And I feel like we need to really pray about such things, especially when you're in a relationship. And I feel like that's another thing that's kept me remaining in this state, because I'm just like, you know what, Monica, the time will come. And if I just let it happen now, I feel like it removes from that, you know, that holiness. You know what, I actually waited for this person. Because by the time it happens, then you're married, then it's like, Mara, we already did it. So then, manje, what's there? What? You have nothing left to wait for. And I feel like it's just one thing that keeps you going. Like, you know what, I'm going to wait. You have something to look forward to rather than just wasting it, if I could say, for lack of a better word. You're just wasting it by doing it now. By the time you're married and it becomes a holy act, the holiness is not there, it's not as tangible as it should be when you wait. I'm not gonna say, yeah, it doesn't have the sauce, you know. So it's not easy. It's not easy, but we pray, we get tempted sometimes, but we pray and we say, God, you know what? We're your kids, we're not perfect. Sometimes we might almost get there and we'll be like, yo, you know, we almost do things that we're not supposed to be doing, but we just try and realign ourselves and just make sure that we are within the tracks, you know. So yeah.
Okay, Sia had his hand up first, but then I see D and Precious, so we'll go to D and then Precious. D.
Thanks, Nikki. I just want to, like, as a sign of, like, I'm in agreement with some of the stuff Monica is saying. And for me personally, you know, when I explain to people why I live the way I do right now, is because of just that. Temptation is there. We are human. And for me, because I know myself, I mean, I'm touchy. So I avoid the whole born. I don't even, like, listen, like, we all have to be honest with ourselves. That's why I said earlier, we shouldn't play with fire. We shouldn't try to see how close to hell we can get without smelling like smoke. That is where I still stand today. Because we're people. I mean, there's hormones that a woman emits, and there's hormones that a man emits. And if you're gonna be in close contact with each other for an extended period, things are gonna happen. Whether it was a friend who's been coming to your mom's house, Bona, for years, there will be a day when the temperature is right and everything is right. But
you're just like,
listen, I've been burnt before, and some of the stuff that Sia mentioned earlier on, even Precious, some of those things I could relate to back then. Hey, guys, things happen. So we need to be careful, and like what Monica said, we need to pray. And I mean, even now, I'm celibate, especially when it's close to my menstrual cycle. Hormones rise, bona, things come, images, pictures of things that happened back then. No, I'm gonna be honest. Like, they run through my mind. I'm like, yo, girl, and I'll be like, Father God, when is my husband coming? Like, you know, some of those things pass through my mind. No, I'm honest.
Yeah,
but I pray and I play some music and I play some worship songs, and I'm like, girl, now that is why I don't want anything. I don't want no contacts. I don't want no chats, because in moments like that happen, you will get a chat that says, oh, by the way, how are you doing? I'm around your block. Block numbers. And
wow, like it. Precious, yes, what's up, Han?
There's a question for Monica. Can you please answer Nikki's other question? How far is too far in your relationship? I'm actually very interested to know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Directed to me. Okay. How far is too far? I feel like, honestly speaking, like, for me, far is like you end up having sex with the person when you're not married. That is too far. Sharp, like, you can, you know, this question is tricky there, but I'm gonna answer it as honest as I can. Like, honestly speaking, okay. for me, too far is like ending up in bed and we end up sleeping together, we're having sex. That is too far for me. That is like, if I'm talking within like what I expect for my relationship, that is too far for my relationship. And I guess for other people it's different, because another person could feel that too far is like kissing or like spanking or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Aritani, people's relationships are different. People have different expectations for their relationship. People have different benchmarks for their relationships. So I guess it just goes with what you and your partner agree on as a whole together. So yeah.
Before I come to you, D, let's get to the coupled question, then we'll come back to you, D. Neville, in a relationship, how far is too far, and do you sorta your girlfriend? Or do you not sorta her? And do you guys practice celibacy?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank God for the lockdown. You know, it's to be honest, it's really helped me personally. But in terms of my partner, she stated even from the time when we were just friends, getting to know each other. She's like, no, this is who she stands for. This is what she believes in. This is what she wants. So, and then also when I came into the relationship, I was tired, you know, of just doing things normally. And I was like, no, let me sacrifice myself, you know, and not do anything. And we've actually spoken about it. We've said, I've told her, like, look, we can say you can come to my house with friends around, but let's have limits, because there's going to be a time when I, as the guy, personally will lose it and like, no, dude, come on, let's, you know. So
Let's what?
Yeah, let's be physical. Let's be physical.
I'm trying to get how far is too far, and a lot of you guys have been dodging that question of how far is too far. So that's what I'm trying to get to understand. How far is too far?
Thank God I am dating a virgin, first of all, right? So.
And you are blessed, because there are not many of those in this day and age.
Yeah, you know. But she's not ready. She's far from being ready.
How do you know she's not ready? She's still human. She's still gonna be horny.
No, she's not. I mean, she's not. Trust me. And I'm saying she's not.
When you kiss a person for long, it brings up things. Like, even if I've never had sex before, when I was a kid, like when I was still a virgin, when I got kissed, it arose things. So how far
but Nikki, I think also now with like I was saying, I was single for a very long time. So when we do kiss, you know, which has been very few times actually, because I actually haven't seen her that much since the lockdown. We've spoken about it, and you know, we are trying to have a couple goal that we can work through and achieve. And I know it's not easy. Yeah, well, I know it's not easy, and I even tell her sometimes.
You're still not answering the question. So you guys, is kissing, is that where you end it? You kiss, and that's far enough.
Yeah, so far. Well, just fondling. You know, yeah. So, yeah, that's what we do. Like I'm saying, our relationship is only 4 months, guys, not 4 years. It's just 4 months, right? And in those 4 months, I only saw my girlfriend. I've only seen her once since the whole lockdown started. So we literally haven't done anything, you know. So that's why maybe I'm talking like this. You guys think, this guy is just, you know, talking on. But truth, we haven't. That's why I said thank God for lockdown, because I've only seen her once after the lockdown, you know. And we only celebrated our month anniversary, and the next day, I think the president, that's when he mentioned that there's going to be a lockdown, and and you know.
So God was on your side. God was like, I'm gonna put a lockdown for this.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a lockdown in his pants. You know, that's what it basically did. So yeah, and say to go, how far? How far is too far? Yeah. I don't want to fondle someone, you know, right now, you know, but like you're saying,
when you say fondle, it sounds so wrong. So use the.
Okay, all right, fine. Look, I'm trying
you're fondling. It's like some rape stuff. No.
I think touching is where I'd end right now at the state that I'm in. Yeah, touching is where I'd end, you know, but we don't know what the future holds. You know, yeah.
Okay, D, and being wary of people's time, seeing as we've got 5 minutes left. I see lots of people have asked, can we have an episode 2 of this? And they want us to go more deeper. So we'll chat more about that. But D, can you have your question? And then after D, we'll just round it up and we'll do a season 2 like Precious.
Why? Because, okay, sorry. So at least he answered, because my question was going to be, why are people duck and diving that how far is too far? So Monica, I know this is a bit personal. This one is for you. You said being under the sheets and actually having sex is too far for you. So are you saying that you guys will actually have, you gonna finger each other and you would actually give him a BJ then? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, maybe I didn't go into detail with it. That's not what I'm saying. For me, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I would actually do that, but maybe I meant to say anything sexual, like, you know, the deep sexual under that term umbrella.
What is deep sexual? What's deep sexual? You're gonna have to describe what deep sexual is.
Exactly. You guys are coming from me. Okay.
Oral and fingering can happen outside the sheets. So
what is deep sexual?
Okay, anything beyond anything that, you know what, guys, I don't know how to put this, but I feel like sex, number one, that's obviously the obvious term that I stated. Okay, that's too far. And also what Dee mentioned, I'm not saying, yes, I'm not also that's like, because I feel like that's like a doorway into having sex. If we start doing that, we are heading towards the sex part. So I feel like once we start doing that, it's just going to be a thing of, oh, okay, we do it once and we're like, no, we're fine. The second time we do it, we're like you already said, this spirit it makes you want more. So once you start doing the little things that aren't really like sex, like what we define as sex, you know, you start off by just touching each other and doing this. The next time you feel like, no, I felt this yesterday, now I want to feel more. The next time again, you feel like, no, you know what? Now I'm not feeling it like I did yesterday. Let's go further. And I feel like the more you do it, you're just literally, you are heading towards sex. You are heading towards sex. So whether or not you guys are not having sexual intercourse and you just touching each other, you just fingering each other, whatever, whether you're doing that, you are heading there, because like Dee already said, you start off today, you feel fine. The next day you do it and now you're not satisfied. You feel like, you know what, no, today I'm not feeling it today. I want you
So where do you end? So are you removing the whole sex part? Do you allow him to kiss your boobs, suck your boob? Where do you end?
Yeah. No. Okay, for one, right?
To everyone in relationships, you will see, people have been duck and diving these questions.
They ducked
and they dived.
No,
Precious,
I don't do that.
You ducked and dived. You ducked it nicely. And work in progress. We allowed that.
I don't. You know what, Dina? Just to answer your question, I'm so sorry, Siana. Just to answer so I can get out the way and then the other people can answer. I feel like for me, you know what the problem is now, Ned? The reason why I feel like as people in relationships, we end up finding ourselves within situations that are sticky. Like now you guys are in bed together and now you're trying to find other ways besides having sexual intercourse to satisfy each other. The reason why we end up in that is because a lot of young people, and I'm going to speak because I'm young myself and we're all young, right? A lot of young people like to base their foundation on sex. If you're not having sex or you're not satisfying each other with sex, then your guys' relationship is not there. So that's the biggest problem people do. If we're not having sex and we're not satisfying each other, got sexual intercourse or whatever, then our relationship is not there. Then we're not fine. We're not happy. We're not satisfying each other. So I feel like with me, I always try find other things other than sex to keep our relationship alive. You know, you don't necessarily have to like be finding new sex styles or finding other things to satisfy each other with to ensure that your guys' relationship is hip and happening and relevant and you guys are always fine and you're not boring each other. So there's a lot of other things you could do outside of sex, outside of being in bed together, outside of trying to awaken emotions that are sexual. You
Tell
could be
them,
single.
girl.
Yes, there's so many things, and I feel like that's the biggest issue. Relationship has now become a thing where when you think of relationship, the first thing you think of is sex. Instead of thinking relationship, we're thinking about how spiritually connected we are. We could be talking about how mentally connected we are. Instead, the first thing we think of is, are we having sex? What spirits are we carrying when we're having sex with each other? And I feel like that's the biggest issue. People can't separate, or rather have sex take the back seat within a relationship. Why can't you have sex, sit at the back, and let other things take the passenger seat? Why can't you focus on your guys' mental connection? Why can't you focus on your guys' spiritual? How many young people pray for their relationship? Let's start there. Because they're too focused on having sex, and that is not the core. Once you start putting sex first, then the other things fail, and you can't base your relationship, such a spiritual thing, on sex. So I feel like that's why I feel like I can just kiss you and that's it. I can just hug you and I'll still be fine. We don't have to end up in bed together.
You've had your 5 years.
Now we got an answer.
Yes.
Now we got your 5 years.
Okay,
You actually
so
told us
your
your
answer-
secret.
So your answer is you end up by kissing and hugging. Is that the answer? Okay. Yeah, no, but good points on the good points on those other things. Unfortunately, we see now with lockdown, we would see where people's foundation for their relationships was. Because now some of them can't have sex.
Exactly. How many relationships are finished because you're not having sex? So I
see
Can I just
Sia's
go
hand
back
is
that as
up.
well?
Okay. Can we get Sia's answer and then Chantal, you could add on? Yes, Sia.
Next time we have this conversation, I really want to dig into the whole spirits thing. You
Yes.
guys keep us spirit. I feel like that's a very loose term that Christians like to use. You know, spirit. And today you guys have used it 100 times. And I think it's a very uncomfortable thing to say because I think it replaces the true, the meaning of it, or the truth in it. I don't think that it's necessarily a spirit thing. You have a spirit for wanting sex. There's a spirit that comes inside of you. I think it is what it is. You know what I mean? But I think that's an argument that we can have another time. What I wanted to say is the important thing is when you're in a relationship, you find a partner who can be strong when you're weak, and you can be weak when they're strong, right? And what I was taught about sex is that once is one too many, and 1,000 times is never enough. So if you've never had sex, just don't do it. Because as soon as you have, it's very hard to stop.
Okay, and then
What's
Chantal, do you have...
What's
Chantal,
spirit thing?
we're gonna know. We are definitely gonna address the whole spirit thing because people are asking for season 2. Fishes' season 2. People are wanting a part 2 of this whole conversation, and we are definitely gonna go into the whole spiritual thing and why the things that we address as spirit, sex being a spirit, and so forth. Chantal, what do you want to say? Or rather, let me do this. In saying that, Chantal, you can have your say and have your last words and make it a 30-second last word, and Neville, and then we'll go around.
Okay, okay, just on the sex thing, sex personally is a gift from God. Sex is something that's supposed to be enjoyed by 2 individuals. He also gave it to Adam and Eve. So if it's done in the wrong way, then it won't be enjoyed. It won't be at all. So sex is not really, I don't think it's a spirit, it's actually a gift from God that a married couple should enjoy to its fullest extent. And then secondly, just on the whole, I agree with Monica and Umpo, saying the world has justified relationships with sex. So I ask myself, God, how am I going to find my person? Like, honestly, how will I know this one's the wrong one, this one's the right one? Because there have been people coming. But then the minute I mention celibacy, boom, after all of them out the door.
They
So
fall away, they disappear.
That's a guideline for me, yes. That's a stepping stone of knowing this person is the right person for me. It's just a stepping stone. That's
With
me.
that, Chantal, can you give us your final goodbyes and make it 30 seconds? Your final say on being a Christian single, a millennial single, what you would want to finally sign out with.
Oh. Oh, okay, I thought those were my last words. Just being in a millennial single, I guess, is enjoy your moment, enjoy your phase, whether in a relationship, whether in your singleness. I'll speak from singleness personally because I'll say enjoy being single. And when you enjoy being single, get personal with God because it's so much better. It is so much better. There's so much joy in it, you know. So enjoy your singleness while you have it and enjoy God's relationship because right now it's a time to get so intimate with God. Because I feel like when you go into a relationship, there is still that intimacy, but it's not as much because now you have a spouse and now it's like your relationship with God, your guys, but now it's a personal relation, one-on-one. It's a time to get so intimate with God and just enjoy everything he has for you during your singleness. That's Chantal.
Thank you, Chantal. Neville, 30
Yeah.
seconds, guy. Chantal made it a minute.
Let's all have a relationship with God, with our partners. You know, pretend you're a triangle. This is you, this is your girlfriend. At the bottom of the base, that's God. So if God is not there, the triangle collapses. So let's have a personal relationship with God. And if you're single before you get into a relationship, and even if you're in a relationship, learn to love yourself. Know yourself. Don't expect to be validated by someone else. Love yourself. Don't ask your partner to love you. Just love yourself, you know. So it's easier for you to give out love as well, you know. So that's me. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. I'm going to go over to Tendo. Tendo, can you give us a 30-second sign off?
So in 30 seconds, I don't know if you hear noise, I apologize. But in 30 seconds, I'd like to say, just keep God as your main focus, and also make sure that you are happy as well. Don't ever date for the sake of dating. Date knowing that you are going towards a purpose. And if at any point you feel like this relationship is not serving you anymore, it's okay to be honest with yourself about where you are at.
Thank you, Tendo. And Monica, your 30-second sign off.
I think as single millennials, we all individually still have a long way to go. We're all not perfect. We're all still learning. And I feel like sometimes it's okay to not be sure. It's okay to understand that you're not there yet. So we just need to pray and just ensure that our relationship with ourselves and with God is intact. And from there, we take it one step at a time. And I can't wait for season 2. So yeah.
Yes. And to Sia, your 30-second sign off.
Guys, it's been good. Yeah, I can't wait for season 2. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah, just go out there and just live life.
And to Precious, our season 2. Who's allowed us to do a season 2?
Well, first of all, I've really enjoyed this. It was actually way more than I expected. So thank you so much, Nikki. Thank you so much to everyone for joining. What I'd say is there's something Pastor Mike Todd always says. He always says that let your actual relationship goal be your relationship with God, because from there every other relationship flows. So that's me. See you season 2.
Yes. And last but not least, D, do tell us your sign off.
Thank you guys so much for today. Like Monica said, we are learning, and my word is it is possible to actually live by the word and actually obtain those goals that we want in Christ. It's possible. Just because the world says it's not doesn't mean that it is. And one thing I want to say is prayer works. So we need to pray. And one question that I would love to address when we go to season 2 is, what does Christianity, when you say I'm a Christian, what is that? Because I feel like we use that word loosely. You say you're a Christian, but you backslid. Are you still Christ-like even though you're backslid? Or are you still Christ-like when you're actually in bed with someone you're not married to? So that's what I want us to talk about next week. Next time, not next week. Thanks,
Next
time. Nikki.
Yes, Thank you to the panel, guys, and thank you to all the people that tuned in via Facebook. We will be doing an episode 2, as I see there have been requests to an episode 2. We will get into an episode 2 and we'll go deeper. We will not touch the waters because they say some of us were scared to get into deep conversations. But anyway, this is a platform where, I want... This is a platform to just share that being Christian and being young is still, it's actually the coolest thing. And if you do not know God yet, holla at me via my inbox and I will help you, lead you to get there. And Neville, who also said he's all about soul winning, he will also holla. But I think everyone on this platform is about making sure you guys get to see God at the end because we don't know when he's coming. So y'all live right. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. And we will do an episode 2 till episode 2. But thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
How do I end this live? Okay.